You start this paragraph by telling your friend that, dude, I just rely on your help. That's that's a little bit straightforward. In many cases, IELTS candidates take IELTS, maybe academic IELTS, because they want to present that they have sufficient knowledge of English for the university. But when they want to immigrate, they need general training IELTS. And that's exactly where you need to start writing a letter for your task one. And this future student in an English-speaking country is going to write a letter to his or her friend who is already in an English-speaking country. That's the topic of our letter today. Welcome to IELTS Juice. Let's start analyzing, assessing, and finally improving a letter today. And the prompt says, you are going to another country to study. It doesn't specifically say an English-speaking country, so it can be any country. It doesn't matter. You can choose another language. Imagine you are learning Spanish because you want to go to a Spanish speaking country. That's fine. But I said because IELTS is for English-speaking countries. So you take IELTS because you want to go to Canada, the US, Australia, New Zealand, or England, the UK. So that's one of the reasons, by the way, that people take IELTS. So the rest of the question says, you would like to do a part-time job while you're studying. Many students do that. It's completely acceptable and normal. So you want to ask a friend who lives there for some help. Very good. So your friend lives in that particular country. It doesn't say particularly as the same city. So we have the country. Imagine you are going to the US and you have a friend in the US. Your university is in Texas, but your friend lives in Minnesota. It's the same country, but there are different states. And they might come up with some other elements of help, but basically you don't want them very detailed or detail-oriented help. Basically, you want them to give you the general understanding of the rules and how things operate in the country. Now, you are going to write the letter to this particular friend. Write a letter to this friend. In your letter, give details of your study plans. You can go as detailed as possible. You can come up with, every aspect of your education. Name of university, location, facilities, the price that you paid, the costs, the tuition. Maybe you had grants or scholarships. I don't know, maybe you got an award or something. Then you carry on talking about the city nearby. Maybe you already booked a place for yourself, maybe a temporary place like an Airbnb or a permanent one. You can basically go about everything. You can basically talk about everything here. So this one says give details. Go ahead, more than one. Go ahead, try, look at it from different angles and different perspectives. Explain why you want to get a part-time job. Well, apart from this being obvious that the cost of education is high, you also need something to, you have some living costs. The rent must be paid. You have to buy food. I don't know, maybe especially in countries like the US, you have to have a car and you have to put gas in the car. They are costly. You need to also get a driver's license. These are normal costs. Pick one and just go ahead and explain how this works and why you believe you need a part-time job to cover these costs. Maybe there are some other reasons involved. Maybe you wish the part-time job to be related to the education you are having. For example, you would like to be, if this is about biology, maybe you would like to participate as a lab assistant in one of the nearby labs, or hopefully at university. There's different laws if you have a job inside university or outside, but basically that is something you need to include in your letter. Suggest how your friend could help you find a job. So you want a job, your friend needs to help you. How? There are many ways. First of which would be to introduce maybe some websites. You are a job seeker. There are multiple job websites. Some of them are reliable. Some of them are related to the local or federal governments. Some of them are just normal job banks. That would be the beginning. Anyway, I'm just throwing out some ideas for you to, get an idea why you're writing this letter and make it as realistic as possible. For some of you out there, this is going to be the reality. So you might as well start learning and practicing this, not just for IELTS, but in real life for your emails that you're going to send out. Stay sharp. We're going to read the candidate's response. Dear Mike, the letter is a friendly letter. So this is informal. You start by using this kind of salutation. Dear, and you have the individual's first name. Or you could say, hi, Mike. That would work as well. So a casual, soft start for the letter. I'm super excited to finally move to London. So this guy is going to the UK to start my master's degree. Bravo. I'm a little bit concerned about paying the expenses, so I decided to find a part-time, yes, there's a hyphen here, part-time job to earn some money along with my studies. Good decision. I love the opening. I love the opening. You don't have to start the letter by saying things like, I hope this letter finds you well, how's life, how's your family, things like that. That would be fine, but this is also fine. It happens in real life, so it's good. So far, everything makes sense. I am writing this letter to see if you can do me a favor in this regard. All right, a little bit formal, this part. I'm writing this letter, but you can justify it. Usually this structure happens in formal letters, but here you can still justify it. It is still fine. In this regard is a little bit formal. Basically, the whole sentence is a bit too formal, unnecessarily too formal. That's what I'm trying to explain here. Let me first give you a background of my study schedules. Let's see. That's a good topic sentence. I know right now that in this paragraph, we are going to talk about the details of this individual's education. We don't know his or her gender yet, so we just know he or she has a male friend, Mike. Since it's the first semester, I decided to select only 3 courses. Only 3 courses? Oh, come on, that's a soft beginning. Come on, just 3 courses. I don't know, 2 credits each, 3 credits each. That would be 9 credits for your first semester. Well, yeah, if you really are afraid of the costs and the new environment, that's totally cool. And I did my best to have room for my future career as well. Okay, this is not room as a room, as a 3x4 that you put a bed in and your TV. That's a room. This room means space, and it's uncountable. And it is used very well here. The writer shows confidence in the vocabulary. I like it. As a result, I go to university on Mondays and Tuesdays. Good. That means you have 5 days to yourself, or if you exclude the other 2 weekends, you have 3 days to work part-time. That's cool. On the rest of the working days and even on holidays, holidays, not weekends, I can get busy with a job to pay the high costs of living, of course, of course. Everything seems to cost a fortune in London, with an exclamation mark. It's okay, this is an informal letter, it's a friendly letter, you can show emotions like this in your letter and it is fine. Another fine thing is that you can contract to give this casual vibe to the letter. I really don't know how people can afford living there. Thank God I already have a scholarship to afford the university tuition. Scholarship, tuition, courses. These are genre-specific words. They are related to university and education. That is good. I really like the vocabulary so far. Having this said, okay, look, the structure is having said that. Or you can say having said this. But please do not play with fixed structures, with vocabulary chunks. Please don't do that. That doesn't end well. When we learn a series of words together, they need to be like that in English. We are not allowed just yet, specifically at IELTS, because IELTS is an internationally standard test. We're not allowed to play with these words. Once you get a good command over the English language and it's out of the testing system or testing environment, yes, we can play a little bit, usually for fun or to just, attract attention, things like that. But generally speaking, stick to the norm, please. Okay. Having said that, I really look forward to your support to find a suitable job. Oh my God. You start this paragraph by telling your friend that, dude, I just rely on your help. That's a little bit straightforward. Maybe you are like this with your friend. That is fine. That's why this is an informal letter. So you can get away with these things pretty much easily here because it's a casual letter and you're writing to your friend. Maybe you are like this with your friend. So yeah, this is fine. I was thinking about working at a cafe or restaurant as a waiter. So we realized that the writer is a male writer because if it were a girl, we would see waitress here, but waiter is for men. I would really appreciate it. Beautiful structure. If you can take a look around, you can say if you could. It's more appropriate. You could take a look around the diners. Beautiful. It's not an error. Number one, we need to actually say that this writer really knows the range of vocabulary, and so far I've seen words related to the topic. We have cafes, restaurants, and diners. It's not an error, again, I just say, but diners are more common in the US than the UK. And I'm not saying there are no diners in the UK, or maybe my knowledge is not enough in this case, but we have pubs more in the UK than the US. So I'm saying the US because diner is a word that I usually hear in the US, not in the UK. So that's what I'm just saying. Not an error. You're showing off your vocabulary. Good. Let's continue. Near my university to see if there are any job openings. So your friend actually lives in London. I am getting these bits of information. I wish we had these bits of information early on. We didn't know that your friend actually lives in the same city, in the same country. So good for you, and that can definitely happen. Really good for you. But I, as a reader, was not informed. I wish I was informed, that's all. If you could find any, please take a photo using your mobile phone so I can give them a call. I understand the writer wanted to sneak in another grammatical tense. So what I can see is a compound complex sentence here. That's smart. This adds variety and it's good control. It's a good execution. There are no errors. And I really love reading these sentences so far. Thanks for the favor, and I owe you one. Excellent, excellent. All the best. 245 words. Let's look at the band descriptors. Here we go. Do I need to say anything here? This one, we had only one faulty discourse marker. One faulty discourse marker, and it was the word order was changed. We must not do that. It's not standard. The message was there, but we had only one. That's all. The rest, as you can see, bullet points were at rest sequentially, clearly. All aspects of cohesion was observed. Apart from that one, the rest was done perfectly well. Paragraphing was stellar. We only had one sentence in the end. I don't like one sentence paragraphs. I wish we could somehow integrate the last sentence into the previous paragraph. The very, very last sentence, the one that it says, I owe you one, it could have been integrated into the last paragraph. Task achievement could have been a 9 if I, as the reader, had been informed that this individual lives in London, and you can give references to me, like, yeah, based on the previous email that I told you I got the admission from blah blah university, I realized that it is just 3-4 blocks away from your home, and I was wondering if I can ask you a favor. And then you start writing this letter, and the whole letter comes after this opening. And then in that scenario, I, as a reader, had been really informed of the situation, and I wouldn't have any difficulties at the moment because I know what it is all about. As for grammar, I have nothing else to say. I mean, look at the grammar range. Look at the vocabulary range. Really, I don't need to say anything. There were some instances that I said, maybe instead of can, we should use could for a more conventional way of saying the second conditional. We had first conditional, we had second conditional, we had compound, we had simple sentences, compound complex sentences, and the control over them was very, very good, and I'm very happy with the result. 7 is well deserved, and it is actually bordering 7.5 with a little bit of attention to coherence and cohesion, and maybe a little bit grammar. This can go up to 7.5. If you wish to see the improved version of this essay, click on the description below. There's a link that will take you to the IELTS Juice website where you have access to the original work, more information about the assessment, the video, and of course, the improved version. Don't forget to subscribe here, and I hope I'll be assessing your letter or maybe essay next time. Take care.